followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Welcome, everyone.
Roll call, please. Mr. Windisch, could you hit present? (17) present. Next, approval of minutes.
Motion to approve the minutes. Mr. Rosenbaum and Mr. Rennell. Thank you. Any additions or corrections? Seeing none, please vote.
Mr. Dillon, Mr. Mayor. 17 ayes. Next, nominations and election of vice chairman of the county board as provided in the Rules of Order, Article 3, Section 2.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. As we deferred this to do it correctly by a month, our rules require us to open the floor to nominations as we have established in our rules when there's a vacancy for either the chairman's position or vice chairman's position. So the chair will recognize Rachel Parker.
Yes, I would like to nominate the gentleman to my left, Jim Fennell, for that position of vice chair.
You sure?
I am sure.
Okay, thank you.
Are you sure you want?
Is there a second? Mr. Rosenbaum? Sure. Okay, so we have Mr. Fennell. I think the rules also say that I should continue to ask 3 times or ish, Alan? Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Final call. Okay, so before us tonight in this item, action item, is the nomination of Mr. Jim Fennell, who I know everyone knows to be the board's vice chairman. I'll open the floor for comments. Mr. Dillon?
I can't let nobody say anything nice about Mr. Fennell. I would urge a unanimous vote, which I don't think is going to be a problem here tonight, but everybody knows Mr. Fennell's character as a stand-up individual of everything he's done and gone above and beyond for this board. And I can't think of anybody more fitting for him, Mr. Fennell, to be vice chair tonight and continue the good practice of bipartisanship leadership that serves this board. So congratulations. Hopefully this is early congratulations, but very well recommended, Ms. Parker.
Thank you. Anyone else? Well, I certainly think it's an awesome idea that Jim's name is before us, and I know we'll get him a unanimous vote tonight. Jim, you know, for as long as you and I have worked together, I think you've taught me several things, and most of them we keep between ourselves. But you are such a terrific example of a common sense voice that I think I can call anytime I don't know what to do, or I think I call when I think I need to apologize to someone. So please keep those lines open now that we're going to give you a fancy title. Okay? All right, so the item on the floor is the nomination of Mr. Jim Fennell to become the vice chair of the board. Please vote.
17 ayes. Next, proclamations and presentations. A proclamation recognizing the Mossville Junior High 8th grade girls volleyball team for winning the state championship in the 2019 3A IESA Volleyball State Finals.
Mr. Fennel, Mr. Elsasser, welcome. Welcome, ladies, coaches.
It's a privilege tonight to welcome the 8th grade volleyball team from Mossville, and it's a privilege for Mr. Jim Fennel from Chillicothe and myself to represent that district. And we're really proud of you guys, and Coach McDowell, Chad McDowell is here with the girls, and wow, what an accomplishment to go undefeated the whole year. I said you guys are in the same company with the Miami Dolphins of the NFL, so yeah, that's quite an accomplishment. Whereas Peoria County congratulates the Mossville Junior High 8th grade girls volleyball team on their Illinois Elementary School Association Class 3A state championship title. And whereas the Mossville Junior High School girls volleyball team defeated Quincy St. Peter 25-23 and 25-14 in hard-fought championship games. And whereas the Mossville Junior High girls volleyball team had an impressive undefeated season. And whereas Peoria County acknowledges the hard work and dedication of each player both on and off the court. And whereas Peoria County acknowledges Coach Chad McDowell and Amy Caceres for their hard work in preparing these students athletes for success, and whereas Peoria County is proud of this first ever volleyball state championship for Mossville Junior High School. Now, therefore, I, Andrew A. Rand, Chairman of the Peoria County Board, on behalf of the County Board, do hereby recognize the Mossville Junior High girls volleyball team for their state championship title, dated this 9th day of May, AD 2019. Andrew Rand, Chairman, and Steve Sonamaker, Peoria County Clerk. Presentation. Congratulations. Now, it's the opportunity to talk and introduce the girls.
Okay. Yeah. So thank you, Peoria County Board, for the invite. Very much appreciate it. You're looking at a not just great volleyball players, but a good quality group of girls. There are 10 of them here tonight. 2 couldn't be with us. This has been an extremely awesome season, and just working with the girls, they work very hard on and off the court. 12 of the 13 on our team this year had high honors for the third quarter, which was awesome as this volleyball season was taking place. So they were able to maintain that as well. So academics come first, and then the athletics. And I'm very proud of the accomplishments that they have made this year, and I'm very proud to be a part of it. You want me to introduce everyone? Okay. All right. So we have Maddie Gingrich, Allie Aderman, Yasmin Fady, Kenna Woolard, Allie Bainter, Sage Geltmaker, Katie Petrin, Emma Vietti, Olivia Thompson, and Avery Malik. And we have Sarah Shepler, also part of the team. She couldn't make it tonight. And Emily Bungard, and our team manager, 8th grader Allie Gillette as well.
Thanks so much for all of you coming, and what wonderful support from the parents and then the neighbors and friends. That's tremendous. Congratulations.
Congratulations, y'all. So Brian, since you played basketball in school, why don't you tell Coach what your stats were?
For basketball?
Yes, sir.
I don't know, 10 rebounds and 10 points a game. Is that good or bad?
That ain't good, ladies. That doesn't sound really good, does it?
Mr. Chairman, he was also on a very good football team at Princeville.
Yes, he's mentioned that. Thanks.
Next, a proclamation recognizing the Bradley University speech team for winning the 2019 American Forensics Association and National Forensics Association championship titles.
The representatives of the speech team, is your coach here? Okay, cool. Come on up. Mr. Elsasser, you're a Bradley alum, aren't you? And our other Bradley alum is, there's 2. Come on up. Are there, Mr. Ricker's also an alum. Did you know that? I knew Phil was. Okay. Kate, Mr. Ricker. Well, y'all might not know this, but Bradley's actually in my district. It really is.
Don't miss an opportunity.
Sure. Hi, y'all. How are you? Welcome. Welcome. Congratulations. The traditions just continue. I was in a meeting with Kim Armstrong a little while ago, and as she was telling me what she's doing today, these days at ICC, and of course Dr. Sheila Quirk-Bailey, it's just remarkable, the tradition, and of course her parents. So I know they stay very active with the team, and we cheer you on from Moss Avenue because you party there sometimes, I've noticed. Okay. All right, let me move on over here with Brian. So whereas Peoria County congratulates the Bradley University speech team on its superior season during the 2018-2019 school year. How am I doing? Am I projecting? All right. Whereas the Bradley University speech team concluded a year of hard work and dedication with a perfect ending to a demanding season, thereby setting and continuing a record of success that's unmatched by any other forensic, athletic, or academic program in history. And whereas the Bradley University speech team continues its record as the most successful speech team in the United States of America, and whereas the Peoria County Board acknowledges the hard work and dedication of each team member, both as a Bradley University speech team member and as a Bradley University student, therefore, I, Andrew A. Rand, Chairman of the Board and your district representative, on behalf of the County Board, do hereby recognize the Bradley University speech team for their outstanding season.
Well, I went to Bradley just a few years ago, but I've always been a big basketball fan, and I really apologize because I've been on the board for several years, and we should have brought you here, many times over the last several years when you won, because this is truly amazing. When you think about number one in the United States, when you think about Stanford and Harvard and Yale and Duke and Michigan, and this is Bradley University. This is a lot to be proud of, right here in our hometown, and so. I apologize that we haven't had you here sooner, but we hope to have you here many more times in the future, and just so proud of all of you guys. And if you wanted to, you would like to introduce yourself, would you?
Let me make a few comments. I'll tell you what, looking at this group, my first comment would be, how many of you will be returning next year? I'm a coach, see, so that's the first thing. That's great. That's great. Peoria should be very, very proud of this long tradition that Bradley has had in the area of speech. Larry Norton was teaching school. I think you have the Larry Norton, what is it, the annual speech contest nationwide up there. And Larry Norton, who lived actually right near our nursing home over there in West Peoria. But I happen to have had his son at Peoria High School. He was in my class as well as he played football up there. But Dr. Norton nationwide was known, and I don't know who your coach is today, but he or she, they are certainly carrying on that tradition of doing a great job of presenting some fine students to represent us nationally, and we're all certainly proud of it.
So if you just want to introduce yourself and maybe tell us where you're from, is that okay?
Yeah, for sure.
And your
Yeah. So my name is Melissa Fuentes. I'm going to be a senior next year, and I'm also going to be the team president next year, and I'm from LaGrange Park, Illinois.
Can you also say what your majors are?
Yeah, I'm a political science and Spanish double major.
And my name is Matt Friedhoff. I'm a graduating senior. I'm from Worcester, Ohio, but I was born in Peoria, so full circle there. And I'm a political science and organizational communication double major.
My name is John Marsh. I'm a freshman on the team. I'm an advertising major, and I'm a Peoria native.
My name is Emily Trader. I'm from Morris, Illinois, which is by Joliet area, and I'm a sophomore on the team, and I'm a Spanish major.
My name is Ryan O'Connor. I'm also a freshman on the team. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, and I'm a biomedical sciences major.
My name is Halima Nala. I'm a sophomore on the team. I'm a political science and philosophy major. I'm also going to be the team secretary next year, and I'm from Dunlap, Illinois.
I'm Joshua Beckles. I am from Rochester, New York. I am a political science and women and gender studies major, and I am a sophomore on the team.
I just want to say congratulations. I'm very impressed with Bradley, speech team. I went to Bradley, but I was not on the speech team. I did do speech in high school, however, and I have to say it was one of the most, I think, useful skills as a high school student to learn to prepare you for being an adult and speaking in front of public. My event was prose, and although I didn't use my skills in college for speech team, I now use them to read to my daughters. So, congratulations.
Just congratulations again. I was on the hilltop in the 80s, and we had, championship teams back then, and you're carrying the legacy. So thank you for carrying that on.
Next, a presentation by Better Build for Outstanding Project Award in the Memorial category for the Peoria County Veterans Memorial. A final salute.
Welcome. Who have I got coming up on this one? The clerk. Where's our clerk?
Send back.
Okay.
Steve, Mr. Sonamaker, and your party, please.
Good evening. I'm Heather Hopkins, Director of the Tri-County Construction Labor Management Council, better known as TRICON. The organization operates under the brand of Better Built. This brand quickly summarizes the superior level of construction that only our local union construction professionals can provide. While we're disappointed that our annual awards dinner was in conflict with your last board meeting, thank you for inviting us here tonight to present you with this very special honor. Even though this event and award platform have been in existence for 32 years, this is the first year that specific projects, including the entire project team, have been recognized. So much of what we do is about collaboration. It's not just about the end product, the construction, but about the entire journey from initial design through handing a project over to the owner. Your project, along with 3 other outstanding projects, were selected based on their impact on this community, safety record, budget adherence, positive working relationship between design and construction, and the owner-user group satisfaction. We applaud the Memorial Committee members who strove to make this veteran-honored project a reality. Please stand to be recognized. Thank you, as your name is read. Thank you for already standing. You're one step ahead. Would you like to introduce the 4 of you?
Before you do that, I'm going to use the privilege of the chair. Mr. Sonamaker phoned me yesterday, and I wish those kids were still here, because I don't think we can just pass up this opportunity and give me just a moment. But we have Hal Fritz with us. He's standing immediately in front of me. He's a lieutenant colonel, retired, and is actually one of the handful of Medal of Honor winners in the United States. And I want to read to you what his citation was to receive that. And Hal, you can be mad at me, but this really still reads pretty good. For conspicuous gallantry and intrepidity in the action, at the risk of his own life, above and beyond the call of duty, Captain, then First Lieutenant Fritz, Armour, U.S. Army, distinguished himself while serving as a platoon leader with Troop A in Vietnam. Captain Fritz was leading his 7-vehicle armored column along Highway 13 to meet and escort a truck convoy when the column suddenly came under intense crossfire from a reinforced enemy company deployed in ambush positions. In the initial attack, Captain Fritz's vehicle was hit and he was seriously injured. Realizing that his platoon was completely surrounded, vastly outnumbered, and in danger of being overrun, Captain Fritz leaped to the top of his burning vehicle and directed the positioning of his remaining vehicles and men. With complete disregard for his own wounds and safety, he ran from vehicle to vehicle in complete view of the enemy gunners in order to reposition his men to improve their defenses, to assist the wounded, to distribute ammunition, to direct fire, and provide encouragement to his men. When a strong enemy force assaulted the position and attempted to overrun the platoon, Captain Fritz manned a machine gun and through his exemplary action inspired his men to deliver intense and deadly fire which broke the assault and routed the attackers. Moments later, a second enemy force advanced to within 2 meters of their position and threatened to overwhelm the defenders. Captain Fritz, armed with a pistol only and a bayonet, led a group of his men in a fierce and daring charge which routed the attackers and inflicted heavy casualties. When a relief force arrived, Captain Fritz saw that it was not deploying itself effectively against the enemy positions, and he moved through the heavy enemy fire to direct its deployment against these hostile positions. This redeployment forced the enemy to abandon their ambush site and withdraw. And despite his wounds, Captain Fritz returned to his position, assisted his men, and refused medical attention until all of his wounded comrades had been treated and evacuated. The extraordinary courage and selflessness displayed by Captain Fritz at the repeated risk of his own loss of life goes above and beyond the call of duty, were in keeping with the highest traditions of the U.S. Army and reflect the greatest credit upon himself, his unit, and the armed services. And for that little write-up, which is quite a write-up, is one of the few Medal of Honor winners in the United States, and I think everybody should know that. Now you may introduce them.
So the committee members are Ken Baker, Jerry Brady, Dr. Peter Corey, Hal Fritz, Ryan Hubbard, Phil Salzer, Steve Sonamaker, Bruce Tiemann, Eric Tiemann, and Carol Van Winkle. Please accept this award on our behalf.
We're not done yet with a memorial. The memorial needs one more fitting statue to complete it. And that statue is been created in...
Are you finished?
Yeah. Statue's been created
well, no,
in wax.
Here.
Oh, I can make myself heard here.
Well, we got it for the recording, Bruce.
Yeah, I want to show everybody a picture of it. I've got several of them here. I don't have enough for everybody. Yeah. This has been created by Darwin Wolf, so just go ahead and pass these around.
Bruce, we know you're a lawyer, but you got to use the mic, man.
Okay.
People at home want to hear what you got to say.
See if I can. Yeah. Hi, Junior. So this final statue is a female, is a fighter pilot, and she's going to grace permanently the courthouse grounds, and she's going to join the Korean War soldier that Preston Jackson created for us that is there now, and she's going to join the Vietnam War soldier with the War Dog who's there now. And of course there's space for more, but we hope that's not necessary. And so for all the veterans that are here, including your counselor Larry, who served in Vietnam like Hal and I did, and for all the veterans here that served in Iraq and Afghanistan like Ken and probably others here, for all the veterans here that served in the United States or in Europe, for all those that got the haircut and put the uniform on and took the oath and gave a couple of years of their life to service to the country. We think this is going to be a proud place for them to go. Their service is going to be honored, just adjacent to the service of our parents from World War II and our grandparents from World War I and our great-great-grandparents from the Civil War. But this memorial is built to be the last one. It has room on it if, when circumstances require, we can add to it. And so we just thank the county for allowing this space to be used in this way. And the county has been the big supporter, along with the city and many other generous individuals in Peoria. And so a lot of you have been involved with this effort since the beginning. And this may be our last chance to thank you. I don't know if we'll come back one more time or not, but so thank you for humoring me. And by the way, the chairman left off the fact that Hal captured Ho Chi Minh and played checkers with him, and he beat him in that checkers game. Now, they leave that off from the report.
Let me just add one thing. When the committee got together, we talked about the statue, the third statue, and we looked at those that participated in all the services in combat. It was a unanimous decision to have a female as the statue, because we have many of the women that have served and are serving in Afghanistan and Iraq. So we thought it was appropriate, and the board unanimously approved it, and that's why we have a female fighter pilot as the third statue.
I just want to reiterate, Ken Baker is a member of our committee. He brought us perspective from his military service in the more recent war in the Middle East, in the war on terrorism. Of course, Bruce and Hal's service. I've had the honor of working with Bruce and Hal since 1999 when we started the World War I and II Memorial. Can't believe it's been 20 years. And of course, Phil Salzer's been our county board member liaison for this memorial project. They've all done a wonderful job. The construction team, which is what a good part of this is all about, as I understand, Terra Engineering, I know it looks simple to the average person. Opperly was a general contractor. Mason was a mason contractor. But there was some really difficult challenges. The stonecutter made some mistakes, and we didn't know it till the stone all arrived from Ohio. And the local contractors really did an excellent job to put that memorial together, so you can't tell there was some cutting mistakes in that stone. It was going to delay everything a year if we forced them to recut the stone. So I just wanted to add that. These guys have been great to work with, and we appreciate the support of the county board, and I'll turn this back over to you so I can wrap it up.
Through the work of Better Built, we promote the union construction professionals that shape quality construction in Central Illinois. We strive to make sure that anyone wanting to do construction in this market is aware of the benefits that securing union will provide them. Thank you for allowing this union project team to serve you. Your project is truly amazing, and I'm sure you're all thinking how proud you are to be associated with this Peoria area community and the family of our local union construction professionals. Thank you to everyone in this room for your contributions, and to the owners who have experienced the union difference and continue to hire union. Also to the contractors who employ our union trade professionals and those professionals who work diligently to support our union contractors. You have a choice, choose union. Thank you. And we invite the community to please enjoy a final salute, Veterans Memorial in the courtyard lawn.
Thank you. So just, one more of those little factoids. There have been approximately 3,500 Medal of Honor recipients since the award was created in 1861. There are roughly 19 individuals who are double honorees, and there are 71 presently living. So Mr. Fritz is in a very elite and distinguished group of people, and every time I get to meet him, I just have to say something. So thanks for indulging me. Dylan?
And if you, it's been a month since I've been there, but I don't know if it's still there. But if anybody on this board has not had a chance to go to our wonderful Peoria Riverfront Museum, there is an excellent exhibit with Mr. Fritz up there detailing everything. And there's not a person in Peoria that shouldn't take a time to see that and see his story that they put at the museum right when you come in at the front check-in desk for all the young students, and understand that everybody went away and sacrificed for us. So if you haven't seen it, our museum there is nothing but first class, and there is a wonderful exhibit that was there dedicated to Mr. Fritz and his service.
Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you. Once again, Hal, look forward to seeing you again. So anybody ever tells you had a bad day at work, just remember you met Hal Fritz. Mr. Clerk.
Next, proclamations recognizing the week of May 6th through 12th, 2019 as National Nurses Week, and a proclamation recognizing the week of May 12th through 18th, 2019 as National Skilled Nursing Care Week.
Mr. Fennell. Oh, okay, thank you. Welcome. And our guest, good to see you.
Hi there. Good to see you again. I've been seeing it all over Facebook this week about National Nurses Week. Whereas the Registered Nurses of the United States construe our nation's largest healthcare profession, and whereas the depth and breadth of the registered nurses profession meet the difference and emerging healthcare needs of American population in a wide range of setting, including in our Headington Oaks Long-Term Care Facility and Peoria City County Health Department. Whereas the American Nurse Association, as the voice of registered nurses in this country, is working to chart a new course for a healthy nation that relies on increasing delivery of primary and preventive health care. And whereas the demand for registered nurses services will be greater than ever before of the aging of the American population, the explosion growth of home health care services, the continued expansion of life-sustaining technology, and the critical role of population health for disease control. And whereas more qualified registered nurses will be needed in the future to meet the leadership opportunities in the healthcare industry, and well as increasing complex needs in the healthcare consumer in this community. And whereas this week, May 6th through 12th, 2019, is designated National Nurse Week, the theme 4 million reasons to celebrate, which are a nod to the nurse and sheer number, an open invitation to the thanks a nurse for enriching our lives and the world we live in. Therefore, I, Andrew A. Rand, Chairman of the Peoria County Board, on behalf of the County Board, do hereby recognize May 6th through 12th, 2019 as National Nurses Week, dated this 9th day of May 2019. Andrew Round, Peoria County Chairman, and Steve Sonamaker, Peoria County Clerk.
My name is Wade. I'm the administrator at Headington Oaks, and we are concluding National Nurses Week. It's been a nice week. We try to do something small as a way to acknowledge and recognize the hard work of our nurses that come in every day to take care of people. It's truly a labor of love, but we are blessed to work alongside these people. And tomorrow we'll be concluding the week with a cookout for all of the nurses. And try to, again, thank them and give them a moment to just be grateful for everything they do for us. So thank you for this. We appreciate it.
Well, you stay right up here because we have National Skilled Nursing Care Week. Peoria County honors and respects our elders, citizens of any age who reside in Headington Oaks, our skilled nursing home care facility. And whereas National Skilled Nursing Care Week is May 12th through the 18th, 2019, with this year's theme, Live Soulfully, and whereas Peoria County urges all citizens to visit our loved ones, family members, or friends residing in any care setting and offer a kind word and personal touch. And whereas Peoria County encourages citizens to spend time participating in the various activities to unite those from all walks of life in need of our continuing love and support. Whereas Headington Oaks is committed to quality health care, we take this moment to join all of our residents, patients, caregivers, nurses, and other staff, volunteers, and visitors in celebrating this special week. Therefore, I, Andrew A. Rand, Chairman of Peoria County Board, on behalf of the County Board, do hereby recognize May 12th through 18th, 2019 as National Skilled Nursing Care Week, dated this 9th day of May, AD 2019. Andrew A. Rand, Peoria County Board Chairman, Steve Sonamaker, Peoria County Clerk.
So National Nursing Home Week starts next week. Actually, officially on Mother's Day is when it kicks off. And if you haven't been a part of it, you should come to the facility. We try to make sure that every day is something unique and fun. We include our residents and our staff in trying to have a good time, and it kind of lightens what can otherwise be sometimes a pretty serious job for the staff, and allows us to bond with the people that we are charged to take care of. So again, there's lots going on next week to acknowledge that. So if you would like to come by, we'd encourage you and enjoy you to visit with us.
Yeah, I know all of the patients in these nursing care facilities like to see visitors, so it's very good, especially when the kids come. They really like kids, and sometimes they bring the dogs in.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you and welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fennell.
Next, a proclamation recognizing Denise Adams for service on the Morton Civic Chorus and Central Illinois Memorial Kidney Fund.
So Denise, if you want to come up, and why don't everybody who is here from Morton Civic Chorus, why don't you guys come up too and join us? So for those of you who have ever been involved in Peoria music or musical theater, this woman needs no introduction. This is Denise Adams. I think I met Denise when I was in 4th or 5th grade at Roosevelt Magnet School. So I've known Denise a long time. Back then, she wasn't Denise. She was Miss Adams. And I want to recognize her for her 35 years as director of the Morton Civic Chorus today. The Morton Civic Chorus does wonderful things for kidney dialysis patients. All of the money that we raise through our end of May fundraiser, all that money goes to kidney dialysis patients. So Denise has been directing this chorus for 35 years, and it is called the Morton Civic Chorus, but don't be confused. It started in Morton, and here is the flyer. So it started in Morton, but how long has it been in Peoria now?
Over 35 years.
Yeah.
But long. In
Okay.
fact, I think it always did one weekend in Morton, one weekend in Peoria.
Okay.
But it's all Peoria now.
So that's why we are celebrating this at the Peoria County Board. So Peoria County wishes to recognize Denise Adams for her 35 years as chorus director with the Morton Civic Chorus and service to the Central Illinois Memorial Kidney Fund. And whereas the Central Illinois Memorial Kidney Fund was created in 1976 to assist Central Illinois residents who have chronic kidney disease and are waiting for assistance to begin, or who have exhausted all other avenues of support. And whereas the Morton Civic Chorus show Encore serves as a primary source of funding with 6 shows annually at the end of May. And whereas Denise Adams has helped the Morton Civic Chorus grow in musical wisdom and stature, always with the goal of raising more money for the Central Illinois Memorial Kidney Fund in mind. And whereas over the organization's 43 years, the Morton Civic Chorus has raised over $1 million for chronic kidney patients. And whereas this year's Morton Civic Chorus production of Encore is May 21st through May 26th, 2019, at the Hartman Center Theater on the campus of Bradley University, and offers a wide variety of musical selections. Now therefore, I, Andrew A. Rand, Chairman of the Peoria County Board, on behalf of the County Board, do hereby recognize Choral Director Denise Adams on her 35 years of service to the Morton Civic Chorus. Dated this 9th day of May, AD 2019, Andrew Rand, Peoria County Board Chairman, and Steve Sonamaker, Peoria County Clerk. So for those of you who don't know, I also sing with the Morton Civic Chorus. We practice on Monday nights, and this is right now our very busy time of year, so there are some people who are not here tonight because they are helping move part of the set, including Denise's husband, Lee Wenger. So they are busy right now doing the heavy lifting. So I just want to thank Denise, and I'm going to give her the microphone to say a few words.
Thank you, Kate. I'm just so happy to recognize our organization, most of all, to be here. Perhaps maybe reaching someone here today that has never been to our production before. I came here from New York almost 50 years ago. I've been involved with many, many arts groups, but I can honestly say that what we offer is just a very, very unique experience. In this day and age where communication just doesn't happen so much. Everybody's in front of a screen and on a phone and this and that. We have just, a incredible group of 60 people from teenagers through 80. We have a man in his early 80s that are just great communicators. And if you go to the Bradley Theater, the Hartman Center, a little nostalgia, heard some people talking about Bradley here. I was there in the 70s where we put on the performances in the old Hewitt Hall. It's where the pool was, the old PE building. But that's the Hartman Center, which is a beautiful theater and a very intimate theater. So our people are right in front of you and they're on your sides, and it's a real feast for the senses. There are a lot of choirs, I always say, that sing beautifully, but we do a lot more. We really approach all of the senses with that. I wish Bruce Tiemann was still here. Being that our show is the week before Memorial Day, we always honor our veterans. In fact, we have a set of the formal service hats, and we do a formal recognition of all the branches of the service, sing the service songs, the veterans stand up, and a lot of people, it just brings them there every year. They look forward to it. So if you've got a chance, we'd love to see you this year. And as we said, all of our money, every dollar of your 15 will go to area kidney patients, people that you might know that are waiting for a transplant or don't qualify. And there are so many expenses for those people that are living on dialysis, day after day. So I'll pass it down. We do have 60 wonderful people, but the ones that came out tonight, let them say hello.
I'm Lisa Little, and I just want to congratulate Denise on her 35 years. She's the longest running director that the chorus has had. This actually marks the 48th year that the chorus has donated money to dialysis patients here locally. And as she said, I can't reiterate enough, it's a wonderful show. You won't be disappointed if you come out. We look forward to seeing everyone there.
I'd also like to congratulate Denise. I've been with the chorus 10 years. My name's Tom Lacey.
My name is Kathy Workman. I've been with the chorus for 21 years this year, and congratulations to Denise.
My name's Kathleen Cripple. I've been in the chorus for 9 years, and I want to congratulate Denise as well. I'm also the president of SIMCAP, which is the Central Illinois Memorial Kidney Fund, which receives the proceeds from these concerts that we give. And you don't know how grateful we are to the Morton Civic Chorus for their constant commitment to our dialysis people in Central Illinois. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kate.
Thank you, Denise.
Congratulations.
See you Monday.
Okay. Yes, I will see you Monday.
There are no citizens' remarks. Next consent agenda.
Hang on just a sec. Mr. Mayor, was that the woohoo? Really? Just a woohoo?
Jimmy did mention that we aren't discussing pigs tonight, so.
Oh, amen, amen. Just before we jump to the Morton Choral people and Central Illinois Memorial Kidney Fund, I can tell you that the beneficiary The Kidney Fund is one of the most underappreciated but extraordinarily important 501c3s. Knowing the field that I'm in, that just access to dialysis for patients 3 days a week to and from is a major undertaking and a completely uncovered expense by Medicare. Perhaps Medicaid does a little bit of it, but it's extremely difficult to find people to do that for $12 each way. So the Kidney Fund has been filling in, I know, on creating access to all of the dialysis facilities in central Illinois since I started working in Peoria in 1991. And I don't know how some of those folks would get to and from but for the resources that you put together for them. So my hat's off to you.
Next consent agenda.
Motion to approve the consent agenda. Mr. Mayor and Mr. Rosenbaum. I'll get you, Barry. Promise. Any additions, corrections? Wow. Please vote. Thank you.
Mr. Elsesser, Mr. Ricker. 17 ayes.
Thank you.
Next, zoning ordinance and resolutions. Item 1, case 018-19U, petition of Edward Lindsay, a special use request from section 20-5131D of the Unified Development Ordinance. This section allows for a special use for mobile homes when all towing apparatus, wheels, tongue, and hatch are permanently removed, and the structure is attached to a permanent foundation and assessed as real property. The petitioner proposes to occupy a mobile home in the A1 Agricultural Preservation Zoning District. The parcel is located in Elmwood Township. The Zoning Board of Appeals recommends approval with restrictions. The Land Use Committee concurs.
Mr. Dillon and Ms. Williams. Mr. Dillon? Could someone explain why this is a special use then? Why is this a special use?
There was an existing home on it, and then they're going to put a new home on it, a mobile home on there. So the well didn't need to be retested. There's already a well on it. So they're putting an actual mobile home on a home that I believe burned down. So it's been vacant for a while. So they needed to come get special use for it.
Understood. Thank you. Any other questions? Seeing none, please vote.
Seventeen ayes. Item 2, a recommendation from your executive committee authorizing execution of amendment number 6 to the Peoria Urban Enterprise Zone designating ordinance.
Mr. Mayor and Mr. Salzer.
Does anybody need a repeat on what enterprise zones are, why we do them? Or did we do enough of that in committee for everyone?
I'd like it.
And why Sharon will vote no. Which ones on the list? You want me to list all the parcels? There's only a couple hundred pages of parcel lists.
Any questions or comments? Seeing none, please vote. Mr. Ricker says no. It means vote.
16 ayes, 1 nay. Item 3, a resolution from your executive committee recommending approval of the supplemental appropriation and loan repayment schedules for the City of Peoria and County of Peoria as outlined in the intergovernmental agreement with the City of Peoria for the reconstruction of the Willow Nose Road and Allen Road intersection.
Mr. Robinson and Mr. Fennel. Mr. Fennel.
I'd like to have submit an amendment resolution for that resolution. We're taking some funds from the excess fund balance of last year, 2018, to reduce the health care loan. So I think Scott will explain the details.
So you're moving to substitute this amended resolution. A second then would be Ms. Parker. Thank you. Discussion on the substitute resolution. Scott. Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
I'm happy to provide an explanation.
Please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So this is, if you recall back in March of last year, you adopted an intergovernmental agreement with the city of Peoria that would fund the replacement of the intersection at Willow Knolls and Allen Road. We estimated at that time and appropriated $3.6 million that would be split equally between the city and ourselves for that project. The final project cost has come in at $3,728,321.51. So that's in excess of the estimate. So included in the resolution tonight, one action item is that you will be adopting a budget amendment to account for that overage. That overage will be split equally between the two units of government. The rest of the action items in the resolution tonight are as follows. The first is as shown in Exhibit A. That is the amortization schedule for the city's share of the project cost. Just to refresh everyone's memory, what the intergovernmental agreement reads is that the interest rate on that loan is 3%. The amortization period is 10 years, with the city paying interest only the first 5 of those years. The first payment is due this year, and there is no penalty if the city would choose to pay the loan off early. We used to front load the city's share of the project. We used Keystone dollars to do that, which means that when we receive payment from the city of Peoria, that will go back into Keystone. Exhibit B, which is again attached to the resolution and included in the blue handout, accounts for the county's share of the project cost. The resolution you adopted last year said that we would not exceed $1.8 million in the employee health fund, that there would be a 0% interest loan for a 10-year amortization schedule that would be paid by our matching tax fund, with the first payment due on December 1st of this year and then each subsequent year until it was paid in full. At the executive committee meeting leading up to this board meeting, the committee asked staff to look at the surplus in the general fund for fiscal year 18 and see how much we could reasonably use of that surplus to write down the principal of the loan from matching tax to employee health. When you adopted the FY18 budget in late 2017, you had assumed a surplus of roughly I believe it was $300,000. When in the fall, when we came to you with the FY19 recommended budget, we estimated that was going to be a little over $1 million. Right now, the final unaudited, because we're in the middle of the auditing process, surplus in the general fund is in fact a little over $2 million. So we looked at what the surplus was, what we reasonably think performance in the general fund is going to be, both revenue and expenditure-wise, in this fiscal year, and recommend that $684,160.76 of the surplus, of that $2 million surplus, could be applied to reducing the principal of the loan that'll be coming out of the employee health fund. We arrived at that number in a couple of different ways. The first is that in your 2019 budget, you appropriated $180,000 from matching tax to make the first payment to employee health. That, in fact, is the value of roughly 2 payments. So we actually budgeted for 2 payments instead of 1. And then when you take 180,000 and subtract that from our half of the total project cost, you get 1,684,160.76. By the action tonight and using that $684,000 and change of the general fund surplus, you'll reduce the total principal value of the loan to exactly $1 million. Additionally, included in the recommendation tonight is to clean up and address an outstanding commitment that the general fund has to Keystone. In November of 2015, you adopted a resolution that prepaid our share of the Growth Cell 1 agreement for the Wilhelm Road Bridge to the city of Peoria in the amount of $2,088,000 and change. The commitment was that the general fund would pay Keystone back with interest over a period of 10 years. Up until this point, financial performance of the general fund has prevented us from doing that, and so there hasn't yet to be a payment made to recoup those costs in Keystone. What we recommend tonight is that we address a portion of that commitment by appropriating the $684,000 and change of general fund surplus to Keystone to address a portion of that $2 million commitment. And then the action would also transfer money in the same dollar value from Keystone to matching tax, so that matching tax can make its loan payment in December of this year. At Mr. Fennell's committee later this month for action next month's board meeting, we'll be bringing forward a revised and restated amortization schedule that cleans up the commitment, the remaining commitment from the general fund to Keystone. Impacts of what all of these actions do tonight are as follows. First, we reduce the principal of the original loan from matching tax to employee health from over $1.8 million to just $1 million. Second, we address a portion of that commitment that the general fund owes Keystone from that 2015 obligation that we created. We reduce the matching tax liability that is due to the employee health fund at the end of 2018. We replenish the fund, the matching tax fund. The original resolution that came out of committee would have had matching tax reserves going negative. They'll now be positive. And we also reduce the annual payment from matching tax to employee health by approximately $81,000 annually. And then lastly, all of the included in the resolution tonight are all the necessary accounting actions to implement everything that I've just summarized and explained. Happy to answer any questions, Mr. Chairman.
Pretty simple. Questions? Okay, so Mr. Fennell, I want to thank you for the wisdom of allocating fund balance from 2018 to due to notes in our internal accounting. I want to thank Randy Bruner for coming up with the concept. I want to thank Scott for weathering through all of it, and I appreciate what you're doing. It's a very good idea. So, Mr. Elsasser?
Well, about a year ago, as you know, I was not very happy about taking money from the employee health fund again, because we've been doing that, and that fund is at least it was at one time one of the most miraculous things that could have happened, going from $1 million to $14 million, and then now back down to a much lower level. And so I am happy that that's going to be restocked, but I'm not very happy about the fact that the project went over that much. And I know that it's difficult to estimate sometimes, but that's almost $200,000 over, and so that part I'm not very pleased with. So, thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Seeing none, please vote.
Sixteen ayes, 1 nay. Next, item 3 as amended.
Okay, any further discussion? Please vote.
Mr. Rosenbaum? 16 ayes, 1 nay.
Thank you.
Item 4, a resolution from your Budget Committee recommending approval of the transfer of restricted fund balance reserve for the electronic citations in the amount of $208,320.15 from the General Fund to the Electronic Citations Fund as of FY 2018.
Motion to approve, Mr. Mayor, and then Mr. Elsasser. Discussion, questions? Mr. Mayor.
I think it's highly appropriate that my last motion on this board is for a resolution to make an accounting correction in our finances, and I heartily approve you setting that
As
up.
a result of the audit?
As a result of the audit. So it's just very apropos, sir.
It really, 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 really is. So that means you got a very privileged second there, Brian. Okay, I don't want to call this perfunctory. It's one of the recommendations from the audit most recently completed that we reclassify these funds more appropriately. Please vote.
Seventeen ayes.
Thank you.
Finally, miscellaneous and announcements.
Do we have an executive session tonight? No. I see Carrie Mayer here tonight. Good to see you. We don't get to see you very often. Welcome. If you all don't know, that's Alan's bride in the back there. Extremely. All right, we'd be at miscellaneous. I'll start on my left.
So I expect to see everyone at one of the shows at the end of May for the Morton Civic Chorus.
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Ricker.
I'd like to thank Mr. Mayor for his years of service and the wisdom that he has shared with me. He's been in my opinion, a great example of a good partisan coming across, and we differ on some things, but we always walk away shaking hands and agreeing. So I will miss you over here, and I'll try to remember some of that wisdom you've shared with me. Thanks.
Ms. Williams.
I have two things. I just wanted to remind everybody that Tuesday, May 14th at 6 p.m. at Headington Oaks is family night, and also on Wednesday, May 22nd at 6 o'clock at the Eagles Club, we're having the West Laramie Neighborhood Community Meeting, which will include the sheriff, and we've now added planning and zoning, so Kathy's going to come. We appreciate that, Kathy. So please attend. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon. Mr. Rosenbaum.
I just want to thank you, Alan, for your service and for all that you've taught me, especially in parliamentary procedure. We can always ask Alan for that. So thank you.
Mr. Fennell.
Yes, I'd like to thank the lady to my right, Rachel, for being the Economic Development Director in Chillicothe for several years now, and she's 7 years, and she's now going back to her business and quitting that job. And I also would like to recognize her as one of the Bradley alums that didn't get up there. She didn't hear the call to come up there, so she was a Bradley alum also. So, but and Alan, I too would like to thank you for your service to Peoria County, and you're going to be missed a lot. Thank you, Jim.
Well, so far it's been 3 Republicans speaking highly of you, Alan, and you always think you rub them the wrong way. Let's see what Mr. Dillon has to say.
I got a couple things. First off, you know, everybody likes to look at the negatives and talk negatively about Peoria County, but we got to highlight the positives. And positive for Peoria County this week, and in Kate's district, and a former member of our board who's gone on to bigger and better things, Mike Phelan. If you haven't followed what's going on in the Heights area with Mr. Blickenstaff, a hometown boy that has gone away but has chosen to come back, some amazing things happening over there. And just not there, but Mr. Blickenstaff's the ones that needs to talk about his other future ideas. And if you haven't followed OSF and what they're doing downtown to Peoria to bring people back down there, is highlight the positives. And there's a lot of positives going on in Peoria right now that are going to put people to work. So, and lastly, to my dear friend Alan, we'll have more to say next month when the whole family's here. But truly, I said Peoria's loss is Springfield's gain. Alan and Carrie aren't from here, and they came here, and what they've done in the 20-plus years of being part of Peoria. Peoria's in a way better place because somebody like Alan and his expertise and his family and his children grew up here. And Carrie, we'll miss you too, but now you're going to have to see the 20 years of driving that Alan's done back and forth to Springfield. And I don't think that's another point, is that many people around here realize how many people commute to Bloomington, to Springfield daily, but choose to live in this great community that we call Peoria area. So I have more to say about Alan, but Alan, thank you for everything. You're going to be missed, and I don't really know what else to say, but this board's really going to miss everything that you brought to the table and helped us get through.
Well, I'm not going to wait till next month because everybody's going to think that I probably sit down and thought about this and so forth. I'm just going to talk about my experience with Alan rather than waiting a month. And Alan, truly, any accolades you get, you very much deserve those. And I truly believe in that. And it was a pleasure, of course, to work with you outside of the county board. We spent a lot of time working on campaigns together, yours as well as mine, and I was very appreciative. Whether I helped you, I know you really helped me. But anyway, one thing I'm really going to miss, and I thought about this just sitting here, is that his dad was one of the best people in regards to preparing the hors d'oeuvres at his fundraisers. He had great fundraisers. I'll truly miss that. So you tell your dad, who's a Lutheran minister, that I'm really going to miss that on his behalf. And I've known Alan a little while, but I knew his aunt a lot longer. I know his aunt a lot longer. I had his aunt in school. But anyway, truly, when we talk about a loss, and I've heard numerous people say the exodus of people, we're going to lose a great family. And I probably ought to wait and talk about his two children, Catherine and Conrad, because they're leaders in their school, and they've got a lot to contribute. I don't know if they'll ever come back to Peoria, but both of them have got a great future. And, of course, Carrie. You know, one of the things that Alan and I always did was we tried to be together as a team for a trivia contest. And I'd always, check with him if he's going to be there and so forth. And some of my sponsors, especially, I wanted to get the mayors on that team. And I'd say, now, Alan, are you going to be there? He said, well, I'm not sure. I said, well, if you're not there, make certain that Carrie's there because she's the smart one. But Carrie, in her own right, she contributed much to our community here. She's been involved in a number of the different organizations. And Carrie, I know what you're thought of by the people in your field. She's truly one of the best in the nation. And I wish her best of luck down in Springfield. Maybe she can help straighten out some of those situations down there. But truly, Alan, I've been amazed at your parliamentary knowledge. I don't know anybody, and I've been in a lot of meetings and so forth, but you're the best I've ever been around. And I truly do miss you. Will miss you.
Thanks, Phil. Anyone else? Okay.
I have already talked to Alan. Good luck, Alan.
Very good. Mr. Elsesser.
As you know, Alan and I have had plenty of disagreements, but there was actually some times that we agreed on many things as well, and we always were able to shake hands and communicate, and I think that's important, and I wish you and your family Godspeed in your movement to Springfield.
So we had a very extended early part of the meeting proclamation-wise, so what we've asked Alan to do is come back next month where we will have more Alan bashing to do. Alan, if you'd like to make some comments before we sign off here, please do.
I'm sure I'll have more formal something next month, but serving on the county board and getting to know some of you really well, some of you just starting to get to know you, has been really wonderful. I said it in my interview with the Journal-Star, and it's true. Peoria County and the county board has come a long way towards becoming a professional organization. If Bob Baeto were here, he would remind us all how we had to borrow to make payroll when I first got on the county board, and now we're talking about how best to frugally use the surplus that was rather hard fought, and we voted on that tonight. And I think that's not something that someone's going to make a statue to, but it's what we got elected to do, and keep doing that. Keep doing that. The graveyards are full of indispensable people. So I appreciate that I'll be missed, and I'm glad I was able to contribute. And the words tonight do mean a lot to me, but I know you guys are going to keep doing good things. Thank you.
Thanks, Alan. He works for a pretty cool guy, too. The Illinois State Treasurer is a remarkable guy. Mr. Sorrell had a couple of miscellaneous.
I do. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to bring to the board's attention a couple of items. The first is last week, Amy and the team at Highway.
Amy, stand up, please. Everybody know Amy McLaren, superintendent? It's big stuff. Okay.
Along with our friends over at the city, our engineer Hanson Professional Services, and our contractor UCM received the Public Works Project of the Year award in the transportation less than $5 million category for the Allen Road Will Nose intersection reconstruction. That was from the Illinois chapter of the American Public Works Association. Second, I'd like to announce that I am removing the interim title from interim CFO Randy Bruner. I'm naming him our CFO. We've worked out an arrangement with the sheriff where he will also able to continue to be the sheriff's finance director, and it's an agreement that is very workable for both the sheriff and myself, and for Mr. Bruner. So I'm very happy to announce that. And then lastly, I would like to give credit to the overwhelming majority of the work done on the item that you approved tonight related to how we structure the Will Knowles and Allen Road debt service and all the accounting behind it was largely done by our assistant CFO, Julie Ciesla. Randy and I did play a role, but most of the work was done by Julie on that. So I'd like to recognize her work. That's it, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Rosenbaum? Julie around? Oh, there you are. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to give a shout out to Cy Maroon and his crew for the sandbagging effort that so far is still holding up good. I was privileged to work with them for a couple days bagging down there with my machine, and them boys are hard workers. If you ever bag sandbags, all I did was put the bag on, and they were throwing them around, and they'd already been doing it for 2 days, and I wouldn't want to have to outwork them. Those guys are very hard workers, and they did a great job and great attitude.
We'll send them a letter. Thank you for making that point. Anyone else? Are we sure? Are we all done? No executive session. Everybody's done. We'll be adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Travel safely. Welcome back, Rachel. You were traveling, I think. Welcome home. Welcome home. You're probably tired, too.